Eskom has appointed Caleb Kasim as interim CEO with immediate effect. He will lead the management team until further notice. Kasim is not new to the Eskom corridors. He was appointed Chief Financial Officer in November of 2018. It's after acting in that position from July the year before. His appointment follows André departure this week. Meanwhile, the Police Minister Bheki Cele is calling on the former Eskom CEO to provide evidence following his allegations about multiple assassinations in Mpumalanga. Cele says law enforcement officials are only aware of politically motivated killings in the province. The Ruyter claims there is political interference and systematic corruption at Eskom.
Assassinations, I know, and we have responded to, are political assassination in Mpumalanga, where the councillors have been arrested and people that are associated with municipalities. I would really love that the CEO gives us that information of assassination from the side of the police. It seems that it's only him that knows about that.
And yesterday, the Secretary General of the ANC, Bheki Cele, made it known that the party will be taking the Ruyter to court. What are their prospects of success? Well, let's find out from legal expert Benedict Phiri. Benedict, thank you very much for availing yourself this afternoon. Before we get into it, let's remind our viewers of what we heard from the Secretary General of the ANC, Bheki Cele.
We will not take him to court for his political beliefs, but we will challenge him for saying that our party is corrupt and failing to prove how. I'm not going to wait for some parliamentary committee to summon him. That we will take action. And I'm going to write to him through our lawyers. He must prove within 10 or 7 days what he said. He's a lawyer, he can come, but we'll meet in court. I challenge him. He must name those people whom he say they are corrupt, and then he must deal with them.
Benedict Phiri is a legal analyst. Benedict, thank you very much again for availing yourself this afternoon. The Star newspaper is reporting this afternoon that André is intending on leaving South Africa as he fears for his life. And so, what are the prospects of success of this legal challenge?
Well, it sounds like the legal challenge will be a challenge framed on defamation. And we know in South African law from a Supreme Court of Appeal case involving the Inkatha Freedom Party over a decade ago, that for a political party to succeed on a defamation challenge is actually quite a tall order, because the law of defamation, as you know, seeks to protect the freedom of expression versus the right to have a reputation. And as a policy position, the courts adopt the position that political parties should be subject to robust criticism and scrutiny and should not necessarily avail themselves of the same protections from a defamation perspective that an individual like you and I would have. So if the case is based on defamation, I think it will be a tall order for the ANC, given the freedom of expression that we should have with the ability to criticize political parties in whatever context.
There are some sectors of society that have since characterized André de Ruyter's move as an act of whistleblowing. And so if he then argues this in court, if it does get to court, how then will this work out?
Yeah, he will have a number of defenses if, the claim is made as a defamation, and one of those could be fair comment, in the sense that he could say, well, what I was speaking to was underpinned by evidence of what I saw in my position at Eskom. It could be truth in the public benefit, because even though you may put out a defamatory statement, if it is true and for the public benefit, you may escape liability from a defamation perspective. So, those are the potential defenses that he could put up if he was sued for defamation. And I think given the context, even privileged context, you could say that he maintained that position and he had the ability to speak as the CEO of Eskom because he was privileged in that position. So I think, he may be able to raise a number of defenses that are already established in defamation law and which may be successful if what we are looking at is a case of defamation.
And the ultimatum, I'm not sure whether to characterize it as an ultimatum or not, but within 7 to 10 days to provide proof of these allegations. How does that work?
I think obviously this is to create the opportunity for Mr. de Ruyter to somehow engage with the ANC on the terms that they would wish. But certainly I wouldn't see that as an effective lever, given what Mr. de Ruyter has already said in that particular interview, and given what his legal rights would be in this particular instance. I don't think putting that ultimatum to him would avoid a court process for starters, and secondly, would put the ANC in any stronger position would they to follow through with a defamation case against Mr. de Ruyter.
Could it be that he may also have a case when it comes to his exiting with immediate effect? He was meant to serve his notice, but that was cut short. The board since making it known that he did not act in the best interest of the company. And so could this be a case of, well, I was pushed out? That's if he has the bandwidth to do this.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, I still to hear exactly what happened with respect to that immediate effect. But insofar as the context of a defamation case, those particular considerations wouldn't necessarily play much of a role because, yes, on the face of it, the statements he uttered on the interview are defamatory of the ANC. Now, the question is, can the ANC actually have an actionable legal claim against him? And as I said, that would be a very difficult claim against Mr. de Ruyter, given the type of defenses he would put up. And being pushed out wouldn't necessarily play a role in assessing whether he has justification or he should be legally absolved from legal liability in respect of those defamatory statements.
Benedict Phiri is a legal expert. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.